Hi guys, and welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. My name is Kasha, I am your host, and this is another episode of Fish Fan Friday where I give you an update on all of my fishies. I do these videos every Friday. So I'm back from North Carolina, and it was a really awesome business trip for work. I got to film some cool dog training retreat and just kind of relax. It was kind of like a work/vacation, so I feel very refreshed and happy to be back. I'm going to give you guys an update on all my fish. Everyone did really well. They're all fine. They're all healthy, and I have no losses. So I'm really, really happy that Daniel did such a good job of taking care of everyone. The baby Bettas are starting to change colors a little more, so I was very happy to actually come home to see a little bit of a change, and I think you guys will enjoy seeing it as well. And yeah, I'm really excited. I still have to show you one more male, and I'll make a video for him sometime this week. I'll also try to make a video, some cool video for Creative Pet Keeping from my trip when I was hanging out with some of the dog trainers' dogs, and we did some cool activities. So maybe I'll put together like a clip to show you guys. I will also be vlogging my adventures, and I'll put together all the footage on my vlog channel called Creative Pet Vlogs. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. I think I'll have a video either tomorrow or Sunday. And I'll try to maybe split it into maybe 2 or 3 videos from my entire week. So you'll get to see all my like fun adventures and hanging out and just the nice North Carolina mansion I get to hang out in. Another update before I show you my fishies is that I have been getting a lot of concern about the fact that I am breeding pet store quality fish, or at least that was how I started my line. The 2 males that I got, I was considering breeding to the female again so I could get another batch, but I'm not really sure. That's something that, you know, I got the males. I don't know if I want to keep them just as pets or breed one of them. I don't know for sure. I still have to observe them, let them grow out a bit, finish going through quarantine before I can decide if they are, in my eyes, worthy. I know that the male that I used in my current breeding is less than ideal color-wise. He wasn't holding his koi pattern like the female does. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I can learn from, and I do know that usually when breeders start out, it is oftentimes easier to get fish from other good breeders. But even with imported or fish from breeders, you don't have a guarantee that you will have a very genetically sound fish, because with imports, sometimes you don't really know what they're doing exactly and what line breeding or how much they're inbreeding. And then also with certain breeders, when they really push to get a certain type of fish, they will inbreed, and you don't know how much they're inbreeding. So even well-bred show fish can have be predisposed to have a lot of health problems or genetic defects. It's not guaranteed that just because you go to a breeder or because you import, by default you have like a really healthy, well-bred fish. Also with pet store fish, while usually the PetCo fish aren't always the best quality and do have a lot of faults in their structure and do exhibit different health issues, that doesn't apply for all fish. So if you look carefully through your pet store, you can find good quality fish for breeding, and just because they're pet store quality does not always guarantee that they have poor genetics either. You could get a fish that is of good genetics. It is more difficult, as in my case, I don't know what the background of my fish is, so with my fry I didn't know what I was going to get. And now if I do want to continue breeding, I do have to kind of play around and mess around with who I'm going to choose to breed and what I'm going to do, and it does make it harder. So I do encourage people, if they are starting, to try to find a good breeder that will give you a well-bred fish or a pair, or you can get 2 fish from 2 different kind of good breeders. But at the same time, I believe that if you are breeding, if all you have access to at the moment, or all you can get is a pet store quality fish, or even if you go to a pet store and you just see like a really good quality fish, just because it's from pet store doesn't automatically mean that it's, you know, a worthless genetic mess and you shouldn't breed it. So there's pros and cons to each type. It's not a black and white issue. I know that a lot of people are concerned because I do influence or have like a small influence in the hobby. And they want me to set a good example for everyone, and I'm trying my best, but it's hard to strive to set a good example when at the same time you're doing something for the first time, because as much as I try my best to research and not to make mistakes, I will. And I try to be open about that this is my first experience breeding. I don't know if I exactly want to continue breeding or not, and if I do, I don't know what I'm exactly going to do. I'm just, starting out and filming something that a lot of people usually don't. When you look up a lot of videos on YouTube, you'll see breeders that are really experienced sharing their stuff. Once in a while you'll find like a beginner, so I'm in a really weird situation where I'm trying to start out breeding my fish for mostly the experience of breeding and just watching fish grow up so I can have some nice pet quality fish. But at the same time, I have some sort of influence on the hobby as I do inspire you guys and give you guys inspiration and ideas. So it's hard. I'm trying my best. And the hardest thing is you sometimes get good criticism, but sometimes I get just plain mean comments from people, and it's hard for me to not let the mean comments are very few. Like, I don't really get a lot of mean comments at all. I'm really fortunate that most of the comments are either positive or they're constructive criticism, or they're kind of hardcore constructive criticism, but they're not meant to be mean or too negative or too harsh. But I do, because I'm a person, a human being, I do have a fault where I do sometimes take things personally, and it's very hard. I have to keep reminding myself not to get defensive, especially when people disagree with me or tell me I'm wrong, that I need to stay open and listen, because I could still learn, especially from people that have more experience than me. At the same time, I should have some confidence in myself, even as a beginner, because I did research a lot. I'm still researching a lot, and I joined the International Betta Congress, and I'm going to be going through their material so I can learn more about good form and structure and learn even more. And I keep, I want to keep raising the bar and, being the best I can be at what I do, so that the information that I pass on to you is also the best I can put together or make. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best. If I ever reply to comments and get a little defensive, sorry, I don't really mean to. Or maybe sometimes I come off as getting defensive, but it's hard. The hardest part, I think, was when my babies got the swim bladder, because that is something I thought I could avoid, but I didn't. Then I messed that up, and I knew I messed it up. I knew what I did wrong, and I got a lot of advice to what I should do, and I also researched a lot of advice, and the stuff I did in the future did help them, and they all didn't have swim bladder. They improved and got out of it. But that was my first big failure moment, and it was hard to show that to everyone because a lot of people got upset. And then at the culling video where I mentioned culling, that was upsetting. And now that I'm mentioning the fact that I'm breeding, the fish that I'm breeding, are pet store quality, it seems to bother certain people. I don't know why now, because I haven't meant the original pair that I bred were pet store quality, PetCo quality, and at the time no one really said anything. I'm not really sure why. Ever since I put out the video with the new marble red male, that's becoming, I don't know, it's becoming a thing. So I'm trying to figure it out, guys. But I will continue to do my best. I will continue to listen, or try to listen, and try to not be a butt to anyone in the comments, and be open to learning from you guys, just like you guys are open to hearing from me. And hopefully we will continue to have a really good experience together as these babies grow up. And I don't know, we'll see. I don't really know if I want to breed again. I'm still thinking about it, because on one side I do enjoy it. It's kind of fun and exciting, and the idea of line breeding and maybe trying to fine tune and reinforce some nice koi patterns, or even breed for temperament, that would be pretty awesome. So while that would be cool, at the same time, breeding bettas is, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. These babies do really require a lot of time and care. And as my channel is growing, I think I'm starting to attract the attention of a lot of breeders and people that are serious in the hobby, which opens me up for like even more critique. And that's kind of hard, but at the same time, you know, that's YouTube. That's something you have to learn to deal with. So I'm gonna try my best to continue to do what I enjoy doing, and you know, because this hobby is technically what I love to do for me, and then the fact that I can share this with you in my videos is like a bonus. So that's my little ramble. I don't know if I made any sense. I hope I made sense, guys. It's hard to talk about this, because this is something that I've been really stressing out about, especially because I'm starting to feel like I'm having an impact on the betta industry, and I feel like especially koi bettas are starting to become kind of more popular than they were before, because I keep talking about them, and like it's crazy that I'm like this random person. I don't think I'm special or anything, and yet like my videos are starting to make like little ripples or changes in the betta community and world. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, but it's stressful, because now I'm starting to think like, you know, what I say, what I do can really impact or change things. If I say or do the wrong thing, like I could set like a wrong influence or a wrong trend and affect the fish keeping community negatively. And I've been thinking about that, and it's super stressful. So we'll see. We'll figure it out together. That's kind of it. I'm not going to ramble anymore. Thank you for listening to me and hanging out with me. And I'm just going to show you some fish so you can see my fishies and how they are doing. So I am starting with the 20-gallon long. This is how the tank looks without me really touching it, since I was gone for the entire week. The water lettuce exploded and it's growing crazy. See all the roots? All of them right here and then right here. The pathos plants have released really long roots. And there's some algae, but it's not bad. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I released this girl back from the breeding container, and she's actually, oh, blurry. She's behaving herself, so that's good. I'll keep observing her to make sure that, you know, no one fights. So I need to do a water change on this tank, clean up this tank, vacuum the gravel, and do some maintenance on here. But besides that, things are going pretty well. I'm happy that this tank, I was really worried that this tank was going to have an algae bloom, because this tank is near a window and I've already been struggling with algae because of that. So this is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's manageable. I can fix this. Here is a closer look of the water lettuce. It's growing pretty well. I think it's happy that I haven't touched it and I left it alone for an entire week. I kind of fiddle around with this tank and move things around and kind of sometimes bother it too much, and I think the water lettuce doesn't really want to be bothered. So that is why it is growing so well. Focus. There we go. So that's kind of what is going on with this tank. And here are the bettas just hanging out, being cute. So here is the awaited update on the baby bettas. As you can see, they're doing really well. They ate this morning, and all nice and pudgy. And the cool thing is, let me try to zoom in on some, see if my camera focus. As you can see, like this one up here, they're starting to very slowly show their little patterns. See that one too? It's having such a hard time focusing on them. But, oh, that's a good one. So they're starting to get kind of splotchy, little, I guess you could call it little Dalmatian patterns at this point. So that is kind of what's happening. Hopefully, within the next month, they'll start developing their patterns. At this point, I don't think any of the darker colored ones are going to change and become cellophane colored anymore. Or white colored. So this is kind of what's happening with them. They don't really fight with each other much at all, so that's good. That means I don't have to separate them yet, so that's a good sign. They'll be okay being with each other for a while. But the funny thing is, now when I start to feed them, they try to nip me. I got bit a few times by these little guys. They're starting to get a little feisty because they can't tell when I'm putting my hand in if it's food or what's food, so they try to figure it out. They gotta kind of nibble and taste and see if my hand is edible. So I have a second bubble filter running here because I will be eventually moving this to another little setup for when I do have to separate some. I'm going to make this little custom thing. You'll see in the future. So right now I'm just kind of getting this sponge filter seated and started by having this already be in this tank that is established for a while. And that's kind of how the babies are doing over here. They're doing well. There's different size and varieties. There are some really big ones, like that one's big and that one's big and that one's big. So I have a theory that in a month I'll probably maybe have to separate the big ones. We'll see how long. Ideally I want to keep them together as long as possible because this is the most convenient to let them kind of swim here and interact. I do try to provide, you know, hiding spots and whatnot to help if any fish does get picked on or has to deal with any aggression. And there's another pretty splotchy one right there with a little red dot on his back. Hopefully he's gonna be like his mama or she. But they're doing well. I'm very happy with the babies. I'm happy with how they are doing. They're healthy, they're cute, they're spunky, and they survived not being taken care of by me for a week and did really well. So happy Betta babies. Being really cute. Little Betta babies. So there is your update for these little guys. This tank, on the other hand, with the male, is having some algae issues over here. So it needs a water change and I need to clean it up. There's also some endlers with this male. I'm considering either dividing this tank or keeping this like this and dividing another tank. I don't really know. If I divide it, then one of the males will kind of share this tank with him, and I'll probably take out the antlers, so it's just 2 bettas and that's it. But we'll see. I'm not really sure yet what's gonna happen over here. So here is the 20-gallon long with Demon Betta and Mr. Bubbles. Mr. Bubbles might need a fin trim because his fins are getting long and heavy, and his bottom fins are longer than all his other fins. These are the longest right down here, and they weigh him down. And he's getting to a point where, regardless of if there's any current or none in the tank, he just kind of has a hard time swimming because they really weigh him down. So even if I turn off the filter and there's no current, he's still kind of he gets tired, and he does this where he sort of just, he'll swim and eat, like he doesn't always drag himself around, but then he gets tired and he'll just do this lazy drag where he's like, I don't want to deal with this. See how long? Oh, I startled him. I'm sorry, Mr. Bubbles. And then here's Demon Betta. Oh, focus. Focus. Yeah, Demon Betta is also getting long fins. He's turning really red. This guy's always changing colors. He's so cool. So that's kind of what's happening here. The guppies are being guppies. They're breeding. There's a female right here. And then there's some males up here. There's 3 males. That one is my oldest. The red one is my oldest male. So they're sort of bothering this female because guppies always want to mate all the time. And here I have some endlers with demon Betta because they're shorter finned. This is a female, another female, and then I have one male. So he's one female to, oh, it doesn't even want to focus. One male to 3 females, and they hang out with Mr. Bubbles because they're pretty much the only fish that can not get killed by him because they're very fast and have short fins. And they kind of keep things interesting for him because he does get depressed if there's nothing for him to like interact with. So that's what's happening here. This is what I love about Bettas. They're funny. Like, they'll get tired and they'll just lay there. Mr. Bubbles is like, I'm not dealing with this nonsense. Earlier, when I was looking at him, he was actually swimming around the whole tank. So don't worry, guys. He's not sick. He's just tired because he was begging for food earlier. I also dropped some pellets in here. So this is also his lazy way of trying to find pellets and conserve energy because he's a lazy butt. So that's kind of what's going on in this tank. The plants are growing really well. I love this tank because there's no windows in this room, so their light is very controlled, and as you can see, no algae problems whatsoever. This is my don't worry about it low maintenance tank, and I love it. I love it. So thanks for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Be sure to leave a comment down below so I can see all your opinions and awesomeness and pretty much what you think about what I said earlier about my situation. This video wasn't made specifically in regards to anyone specifically. As a whole, I just wanted to kind of talk about it. And it's kind of fun to hang out with you guys, talk to you guys, and just share stuff on my Fishy Fan Friday. Yep. Be sure to subscribe if you already haven't, and I need to go and do a lot of water changes and a lot of tank maintenance and probably play fetch with Bananas. So I'm going to head out and do all that and work on a bunch of stuff. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye!